Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of Between the Zones. I am once again your host, Kees. You know it if you've seen this before, but if you haven't, then quickly explain. We're here to talk about the movie news. And that's really all this show is. So, not a whole lot of special surprises going on. Just I was talking about the movie news, and I got my regular panel. First of all, let's introduce the youngling Evan DeGraff.
What's up, guys? I'm excited to be back here again, talking about this really weak week of movie news to come out. The repetition there really trips me up.
Yeah. Hey, Chris.
Oh boy, there's a nice subtle joke in there if you guys think about it, considering my fan Schmodown name. But that was pretty good, Case. That was pretty good. No, I'm doing pretty well, and yeah, not the best week in movies, but yeah,
Could have been worse.
could have been worse.
Could have been much.
Because here's the
much.
thing, we're not really gonna rant about anything today. It's just gonna be
Nah.
Quiet.
Well, we'll see about the rants. Because this show is notorious for its occasional rant. But let's just get into the first news topic as usual. The weekend box office numbers. They're in. Estimated numbers are that Guardians of the Galaxy once again is number one with 63 million, dropping 57%. It's actually not that big of a drop. Superhero movies tend to drop bigger than this, and this is actually a pretty good drop for them. And it's already at 630.5 million worldwide, which is, of course, huge. It has over doubled its money, I believe, right now, and it's well on its way to be very profitable once again. So good for the MCU, even though the movie was perhaps not the best one of the MCU. Second one is Snatched, coming in with 17.5 million on a 42 million budget, which kind of means it's a bit of a bomb. A little bit, because 42 million without marketing. I don't know how much it needs to make to get its to make somewhat of a profit, but it opened pretty small. But speaking of bombs, this is the biggest bomb this year so far, and I don't think Guy Ritchie is very happy with this. King Arthur: Legend of the Sword in number three with 14.7 million, only made 43.8 million worldwide so far on a 175 million-dollar budget. Yeah, biggest bomb of the year so far, and this is just bad. Number four, Fate of the Furious, still holding on to the top five, basically because of a lack of anything else coming out, because really there's nothing out there right now that people want to see except for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So Fate of the Furious with 5.3 million at number four, dropping 57%. And rounding up the top five is The Boss Baby. Yeah, still holding on 4.6 million, dropping only 34.1%. I wonder, Evan, your thoughts on the weekend's box office?
Why the boss, baby? Why the boss, baby? This thing just keeps sticking around in the top five. We kind of knew King Arthur was gonna tank. It did. His marketing campaign was not very good. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Wonder Woman's.
Oh,
Snatched.
shots fired.
I think Snatched is gonna break even. I think that's what it's gonna do because it's also open worldwide a little bit, gain some more profit in
It
the
didn't
Europe.
open worldwide yet.
Exactly. It's gonna do a little bit more than break even probably. And Guardians of the Galaxy, 57%. I think it could have done a little bit better with what came out against it this week. So
Could have
yeah,
been
give or
worse.
take.
Could have been worse given the word of mouth as well.
Yeah.
I assume that are all your thoughts on the weekend's box office. Evan?
Hmm?
Those were all your thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Chris, your thoughts.
Yeah, look, I'm not surprised that Boss Baby's still around because, like I said, or because like what has already been said, nothing else is out.
I need Cars to come out. I need Cars 3 to come out.
I
Just bring
don't.
some
I
fresh
don't.
air.
I don't. But yeah, Fate of the Furious still holding on. God damn it. But oh well, what can you do? It'll be gone next week, thank God, because Covenant will knock it down, and hopefully something else will knock it down. And Guardians, it dropped more than I thought it was going to, in all honesty. Because now, yes, obviously a lot of people went out and saw it last weekend, but a lot of people were still in reserve, were still hesitant because, some of the early feedback, which was mixed. I thought it was actually going to do a lot better. I honestly would have said it was still going to be about the 80-90 range. So I guess, and to be fair, it's still going to have some legs throughout May. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's quite possible it might even still dominate next weekend. But
Yeah.
No, it won't.
I said possible. We don't know.
No, that's not possible.
Really?
Against Covenant?
Versus Covenant? I think so.
Like I said, possible. Snatched, it made a lot more money than I thought it was going to because there was no marketing for it whatsoever. And Amy Schumer is popular, but she is not popular enough to,
carry a marketing campaign.
Exactly. I mean, Christ, I'll make the argument that Guy Ritchie is more, and and King Arthur was poorly marketed, though. From everything I understand, it was a poorly made movie too. So,
on the other hand, like if you compare it to the last Guy Ritchie movie, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., also Guy Ritchie as a name, it was marketed. You had some big names in there, and it didn't make any money. Same thing here with King Arthur. Got big names involved, but just
nothing happened.
I don't know why. And it kind of sucks because I usually like Guy Ritchie as a director. I mean, I really like his Sherlock Holmes movies. I love The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and even though I haven't seen King Arthur, I think I would enjoy it. But for some reason, people just don't want to see his movies, which sucks. Yeah. Snatched. Let's move on to the first news story. I don't have anything to add to this, really. The first news story, big news story. The Blade Runner 2049 trailer dropped this week, and it was awesome. It was really a lot like the original Blade Runner in terms of like the style, but still new enough that it's like a modern movie. I think Harrison Ford and Gosling look great in the roles. I can't wait to see what they are doing in this movie, how they continue the story after so long. Yeah, this trailer was awesome. I can't wait to see this movie, especially because Denis Villeneuve is once again directing, and he is my favorite working director at the moment. So yeah, I really want to see this, and I know Chris wants to see this one, right?
Oh, good God, yes. Even though I will have to brush up on seeing Blade Runner again before I go see this movie, but I'm excited.
Commentary, maybe? Commentary, maybe?
Well, you never know. You never know. But I am excited because this trailer was freaking phenomenal. Why was it phenomenal? I got no story. And for a film like Blade Runner, I don't want story. I want to come back to this world because, look, Harrison, I love you. You are one of my favorite actors, but you are 1 for 1. You are 1 for 2 on coming back to a role that you have not visited in a very long time. Force Awakens, great. A certain Indiana Jones film, well...
We do not speak of it.
I thought it was okay, but, we don't speak of it.
So he's 1 for 1.
Yeah, he's 1 for 1.
So the question is, will this be 2 for 1 or 1 for 2?
Exactly. And so far, it's looking like just an expansion of what we saw back in 1982. So, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Now, here's something. Evan, have you seen the original Blade Runner?
You already know the answer to that question. That is no.
I do.
But, am I excited for it? Still, yes, it looks like a good cast. I've seen some colors of it. I'm going to watch the trailer after I see the first Blade Runner movie. I'm still excited for the movie. Why not?
Yeah, and for people like Evan who've not seen the original Blade Runner, probably the best one to start with is the director's cut, not the theatrical cut, as I've heard.
Yeah.
Chris?
I'll back you up on that one. Yeah. Start with the director's cut, and if you want a version of it
If
with.
you like love the director's cut and you want some other versions, then go look up the rest. But
But
usually the director's cut is the best one to start with.
and in this case, it is the best one because, well, frankly speaking, they took out Harrison Ford's inner monologue that was in the theatrical cut. So
Yeah, I've not seen the theatrical cut, so I didn't know what the hell that is. That sounds kind of weird, something that would not work for the movie. So
it doesn't.
good on the director's cut for that one. Anyway, yeah, let's just move on to the next story. This was something I found on Collider.com, which of course is a way better news site than we are. So please, if you don't check out Collider already, I don't know what's wrong with you because you probably found us through them. But it apparently seems that they want to make a Halo animated movie or live action movie, perhaps. I saw something about Halo, an animated movie, and I was like, an animated movie out of a video game movie, that would be interesting to start as a concept, to start as something not that big, because yeah, video game movies have not been great ever. And to start, like Halo is one of the most popular video game franchises ever. So to make that into a movie, interesting. You possibly could do something, but I think animated would probably work better than live action. So I would want to see this if this actually gets made. I wonder, Evan, have you ever played Halo?
Yeah, I've played a few games, but I think you guys have probably played Halo a little bit more than I have. Are there space whales in Halo?
The what?
Space whales?
No.
No, but I'm excited about that because I bring up space whales for a reason. You can do that in animation. You can make crazy, cool, and creative things in animation like that. Halo is, when I look at the video game, it's so large and in scope, and it's so colorful in so many different ways. I feel like it's better suited for animation because you can do more with an animated concept than live action. So I think it's a good move if the studio decides to go with that.
Chris?
And at this moment, everybody's ears bleed.
Shut up, Evan.
What
Halo
the hell
2
just
is my favorite Xbox game of all time. I love the Halo trilogy. 4, 5, Reach, Wars 1 and 2, but it's really hard to touch those original 3 games because they basically were interactive movies. And they had the pacing of a movie. They had the dialogue of a movie. It's kind of funny. I don't see how this can work. I genuinely don't. I actually, if we were buying or selling this, I would sell it so hard because as a fan, I don't want them to try this. Because if you were going to try this in a live action adaptation, I'd be a tad more open. But that project
video game movies have never been good ever.
Well, and shit, not even animated video game movies have ever been good because from the way it sounds, this feels like it would be sort of like Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within or Final Fantasy: Advent Children, which are both incredibly well animated movies, both just beautiful. But there's no story and no character. They suck. Which I feel like that's going to be the same problem with this Halo movie if it ever happens. You know, sure, the visuals will be gorgeous and they'll get the look just right. But I'm not going to care about the characters. Or if they bring back some of the old characters like the Arbiter or Chief or Johnson. Oh wait, no, okay, not Johnson. But if once they bring back some of the old characters, chances are they're just going to make Hot Topic emo-y versions of those characters, and I'm not going to like it. So, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm intrigued with this idea. I think animated will probably be better than live action, simply because you can do more with animation. And in terms of the characters, Yeah, that's the question mark. If they can pull that off or not. I hope they can. But we will have to wait and see for that. But let's move on to the next news story. Anya Taylor-Joy and Maisie Williams are cast in the new Mutants movie after one of the Stark sisters got cast in X-Men. Now the other one as well. That was really funny for me to see. And Chris gets the reference, and of course Evan does not because he doesn't watch Game of Thrones. Everyone who watches Game of Thrones knows
Understandably
this
so.
reference. Very understandably, because he's only 16 years old and he's way too young to watch that show. But seriously, Maisie Williams, I think, is very good in Game of Thrones. Anya Taylor-Joy, I have not really seen in a whole lot of movies simply because I heard she was amazing in The Witch and other horror movies, and I don't watch horror movies, so I don't know her. So sure, she's probably very good. I know Maisie Williams, also very good. So yeah, good casting. It's never bad to add talent. I wonder, Chris, you do know Anya Taylor-Joy from some of those horror movies because you do watch horror movies. What do you think of the casting?
Strictly speaking, the casting, I freaking love it. I love this. I mean, good God, you've got Arya Stark, and you have the Anya Taylor Joy, who just stole the show in The Witch and in Split. Good Jesus, this woman can act. She's only 20 years old, and she is already a powerhouse performer. Honestly, I think she could be the next like Jamie Lee Curtis, the chick from the original Halloween. For those of you who might not know who I'm talking about immediately, who
The chick from True Lies.
yeah, the chick from True Lies. There we go. Um, for the older audiences out there, but yeah, no, this is great casting. Even though I'm a little nervous about the movie, partially because Simon Kinberg has never directed, but I have hope. I have hope he knows what he's doing because obviously he's been very involved in this franchise from the get go. I don't know how to feel though because X-Men literally their record is 50-50. They either knock it out of the park or
60-40.
Yes, more 60-40, I think.
Yeah, it's more they made more good movies than bad movies.
But you still get my point. And this one, the stars are lining up, but so did Hades' plan Hercules, and how did that turn out for him? So I'm cautiously optimistic. But yes, like you said, it's always great to add talent. So
Indeed. Evan, your thoughts?
Chris's facts are wrong. X-Men's record has actually been really good. They've only produced maybe two or about either 4 or 3 bad movies compared to the 11th that they've released. I just wrote it down. I did a little thing, and for me, it's kind of like a non-story. They're adding good talent, so I'm excited about that. Talent is talent, and yeah, that's about it for me. Talent is talent.
Okay. I do wonder, have you seen any of these actresses in anything?
Let me see.
Because yeah, Anya
I
Taylor-Joy is in horror movies. You don't like horror movies, just like myself. And then you've got Maisie Williams, who is in Game of Thrones. So
and she actually did have a
yeah,
pretty good run on a 2-part arc of Doctor Who in the 9th season, which she was good in it.
But point being is, if they're good enough to be in Game of Thrones, they're good enough to be in an X-Men movie.
well, look, in the
In
case
theory.
of Sansa Stark, what is it? I'm blanking. Sansa Stark, in her case,
Sophie
the
Turner,
new
there we go.
Sophie Turner, in her case, it did work. In the case of like, I've seen the actor Kit Harington who plays Jon Snow. He's just
Oh
Jon
God,
Snow. He's not that good
Pompeii.
in other things.
Although
Hmm?
Pompeii, but he was good in How to Train Your Dragon too.
Yeah, but that's voice acting.
It's you get my point.
Actually, yeah, it's 60-40 because X-Men, X2, First Class, Days of Future Past, Deadpool, and Logan, great. Last Stand, Origins, Wolverine, the Wolverine, of course, and Apocalypse, not so great. So yeah, 60-40 in terms of X-Men movies. I hope this one is makes the 60 to 65. But we'll have to wait and see. Let's move on to the next news story. Martin Scorsese has announced a while ago he's going to make a movie for Netflix. This will be The Irishman, and now it has been set for 2019. He will start shooting the movie soon. I wonder, Chris, I think you like this news, or don't you?
Well, now I'm not going to go full Jacob London in terms of my fanboying, but I will say I am very excited for this, and not just because it's Scorsese, who I love a lot of his stuff. It's also the cast involved. It's Harvey Keitel, Joe Pesci, both of them who were powerhouses for the longest time, but then they sort of took a break, and now they're coming back to films. Then you also got obviously Pacino and De Niro, who most of the time when they're in a film together, it's gold, solid gold. So
Scorsese directing De Niro.
Oh my God, yes. And I'm just excited for what the story is, and I'm excited for the fact that here's the other thing that I'm actually excited for. Now, Case, you and I both know that I am not 100% for the idea of doing a straight CGI for Leia in Episode 9, but if The Irishman actually pulls off what Scorsese has said he's going to try to do with the actors in this film, which is do flashback scenes with these guys younger digitally, I might change my tune.
Thank you. Yeah, look, I just want CGI to succeed because I thought Tarkin was a big step in the right direction, and if they need to take these risks to make sure that it continues to be better over time, because Tarkin was a huge step in the right direction. Really, the only thing off about Tarkin were the eyes, because yeah, it's really hard to do that, but the rest of the face was really good, actually, I thought. So I wonder if they can pull that off. Look, I'm not the biggest Scorsese fan. I think his movies, most of them are good, not great. From what I've seen, I've not seen a whole lot simply because of the fact that what I've seen is good, not great, and I'm not that interested in watching the rest that I haven't seen. But yeah, this probably is going to be a good movie. Evan, fuck off with the Netflix and just give us your thoughts already.
This is huge. This is huge. A movie of this capacity and this scope is not going to be released in theaters first. It's going to be released on Netflix. A film where Robert De Niro and freaking Martin Scorsese and Al Pacino all coming back together, and with this new technology, is being released on Netflix. I didn't get my chance to say this on the live show, but this is crazy news. I don't even know how to explain it. If this is successful enough and this, enough people watch this, we are going to be seeing bigger films, bigger Oscar films being released on Netflix. More availability to audiences who can't see all these Oscar films might be going to streaming services. Yes, Manchester by the Sea, it was produced by Amazon, but it was released in theaters first. This is huge. This is gigantic. This could really be the beginning of a shift into the theater to the streaming services. This could actually start an ignition, a shift in movies. Whether you like it or you don't, this could possibly do it. And this is the big news to come out of it. This is the big news to come out of this news. I'm excited.
Much like how Trump cares going to start a revolution across the U.S. Oh,
let's not make this into a political debate. To respond to Evan, by the way, I would be very much for these type of movies, like the smaller indie movies / drama / Oscar movies, to be indeed for streaming services, because they hardly ever make a whole lot of bank in in the theater, and actually put it in the theater, yeah, it's not really the theater type of movie. It's a movie that I can perfectly. It's perfectly fine if I watch it at home by myself, or with some people that I invite over, but not really in the theater. And instead, in the theater, just have the big blockbusters that are made to see on the big screen. So I do think it's a smart move if they can make more of these type of movies for streaming services, so you can just watch it at home. And that way, I also want. I hope they can make it a little bit more available for us here in the Netherlands and actually all over the world, where we have to wait for the Oscar type of movies to release into the next year every fucking time. Sometimes even to wait for an Oscar type of movie after the Oscars. Like we don't get Oscar movies until the Oscars have already been presented, and it's like I didn't even get a chance to see the fucking movie that was nominated, but I wanted to. If we get it on streaming, that would be better. All right, that was my little tangent on that. Anyone got any thoughts before we move on to the next thing?
Or I think talking about the technology, Kurt Russell in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 looks really good.
It was fine for
What
like
they're
the
doing.
minute he was in.
I know, but you saw his face, you saw him moving around it, and I thought I first I'm like, oh wait, that's Kurt Russell. I was really impressed.
Yeah. Also, in the
I'm
case of
glad you
Kurt
liked it.
Russell, huh?
So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
glad you liked it.
In the case of Kurt Russell, you actually have his face, so there's not a whole lot you need to
Right.
change there. Because like in the case of Tarkin, they had someone, Guy Henry, like who kind of looks like Tarkin, but they really haven't had to do a whole lot to make sure that looks like Tarkin. Um, and still, yeah, he was in less than a minute, and it was fine. I didn't think it was that great for the minute he was in, but sure. Let's just move on to Star Wars, something that I loved. This was probably my favorite news story of this week. The Last Jedi concept art shows the new TIE fighter of Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren's TIE fighter looks like a mixture between the TIE Interceptor that was first introduced in Return of the Jedi and then later used in other shows and whatnot, and of course Vader's TIE Advanced, introduced in the original Star Wars and once again used in Rebels most recently. Like a mixture between those two, and now you got Kylo Ren's TIE fighter, and it just looks awesome. It's like, oh my god, I can't wait for The Last Jedi. All these things that are coming out that I'm seeing, I'm like, oh my god, I need this movie because it's awesome. Chris, what are your thoughts on the TIE fighter?
I think they're trying too hard to go for a retro vibe by making his TIE fighter look like everyone else's TIE fighters, and it's a mix mash of everything.
Oh, are you kidding me? Holy shit, it looks good. Yes, is it a little bit retro? Sure. Eat my gooch. I freaking love this look. Because we don't know what Ben Solo's piloting skills are like. Because, let's see here. He has one of the best pilots ever as his dad, one of the best pilots ever as his uncle, and the greatest pilot ever as his grandfather. Piloting is kind of in his genes.
Okay.
It's arguable, Case. It's arguable.
It's arguable. Yeah.
Anyway. I'm just excited to see that we're going to get to see this. Because, yeah, it makes sense if, he's part Skywalker and part Solo. He should have his own ship. Now, and here's the other thing, too that's interesting. The cockpit and the thruster are very reminiscent of the Falcon.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody else catch that?
Yeah.
So, what does that say about him? That maybe he's not... Even though, yes, spoiler alert for a film that's going to be 2 years old in December, yes, he killed his old man. Yes, that's irredeemable.
It's not.
It's not. No.
It really is not. Take your fanboy bias out of the way, and it's not irredeemable.
Exactly. And which I honestly think they're gonna go that way, and I'm okay with it. But No, it makes sense that he'd still want to, keep part of his family legacy intact, both sides. So, yeah, no, I dug it. I really liked it.
Good. Evan.
It looks cool. That's kind of all I need. We're gonna see this thing go against the Millennium Falcon, probably. Yeah, that's about it. It's gonna be really fun.
Okay, I
Okay,
actually I
Evan,
wasn't
wait.
thinking that, but now I want to see that.
Now I want to see that. Yeah. One thing though, Evan clearly is not the biggest Star Wars fan because he doesn't over speculate on this new story. Like
There's no reason to.
others.
I'm John Campea in this. It's
No,
no reason to
no.
over-speculate.
Even John Campea over speculates on everything actually, and especially Star Wars.
No, I'd say you're more Dennis Zenning this.
I think it's just it looks cool. That's all I need to know.
And that's
Dude,
awesome.
you're not a Star Wars fan because it's an image and it's the most awesome thing ever. Oh my god! Oh my god! Sorry.
As I say, before we completely fall off the rails. Oh wait, we already did.
we just did. Who cares? I like Off the Rails. It's fun. just watch the last live show we did.
Oh dear God!
It's fucking terrible. It's off the rails 99% of the time, but it was awesome.
Yeah, and just to be clear, guys, you know what? Screw it. I'm taking just 2 seconds here. Evan, I feel like we might have crossed a bound or two with you on the last episode, so my bad.
Okay, and with that out of the way, let's move on to the next news story. Apparently, an R-rated Hellboy reboot is planned without Ron Perlman and Guillermo del Toro to direct and act as the title character. And I actually am completely against this. This is complete bullshit. The first two Hellboys are very fun, good movies, in my opinion. Ron Perlman as the title character is very good, and Del Toro's style works really well for those movies. If you take away everything and you insert new people that I don't know, and you're making it R-rated for the sake of Deadpool and Logan pulling it off, I'm like, fuck no, I have no interest in this movie whatsoever. Evan, your thoughts?
Do we really need a Hellboy reboot? Or any of us asking for this? Look, I haven't seen the movies, to be fair, but I still don't think we need it. I don't find a reason for this movie to come out. I'd rather have a studio be creative somewhere else and creating a new property or doing something, please. For me, people argue that studios are scrapping at the bottom of the barrel for some of the reboots and stuff. This is the bottom of the barrel. Hellboy? Are you kidding me? Please, let's just move on and let's focus on something else.
Yeah, and look, if you're going to do anything with Hellboy, just make a sequel to the other two with Ron Perlman and Del Toro. That will be good because the first two were good, I think.
Yeah,
Chris.
The thing about that though is Del Toro wanted $200 million for the third one, and no studio in their right mind would give him that much money to make that kind of movie. When the first two films combined, if I'm not mistaken, they only grossed about $600 million, which
I'll look this up.
Yeah, look. Fact check me on it, but they only
talking.
got mixed critical reception. They only did okay
I got it.
in terms of the box office sales.
Wow.
And
these movies did not do good.
Yeah.
So million
and
for the first Hellboy.
Oh wait, no.
And it's 60 million from the first Hellboy and 75 for the second Hellboy. Wow.
And he wants $200 million for the third one. There's a reason that it's not getting made. And I completely understand from that perspective. I mean, I liked the first one. I thought the second one was okay. Not great. But...
Wow. Yeah, worldwide, the first Hellboy didn't even crack 100. and the second one worldwide 160. That's nothing.
Yeah. So that's why you won't get Guillermo del Toro and Ron Perlman coming back for the third one. And to be honest, I'm okay with the idea of a reboot. Here's the only reason why. Because it's still the studios wanting to get this name out there. Yes, do I wish it was another one with these two? Secretly, yes. But simultaneously, I'm okay with it. Because the original creator is still involved. So it'll still have a lot of the flavor of those films, but I think it will still be its own thing. And plus, David Harbour, cast or in negotiations to play the title role. I love him. I love his work. Holy crap! And Stranger Things, he was great in that show. So,
I've seen it.
I'm not sure if you would be into it, Case, but if you were, you would love it. But yeah, no, I'm actually okay with this because even though I don't like how it feels like this is just part of a trend, but I can understand why they want to do this, and I'm actually all for it. So.
Okay. By the way, I looked up the critical numbers on Rotten Tomatoes. Both the Hellboy movies get a really high praise. The first one, 81%, second one, 85%. So they are very, very highly critically acclaimed. It's just that they don't really make a whole lot of bang. But look, I think the only way you could restart this franchise, because Hellboy 2 came out almost 10 years ago. Hellboy 2, 2008. That's almost a 10-year gap. That's just too big of a gap to do a sequel. That is why I think they want to do a reboot, but I'm like, you are only doing this reboot to make money, to just it's a trend, it's shtick, I don't like it, just don't do it. I want Del Toro and Perlman back if they do anything with this franchise. Let's just move on to second to last news story. Edge of Tomorrow 2 gets a title, and Emily Blunt is confirmed to return in this role. Now, the good news about this is Emily Blunt returning in her role because she was awesome in the first one. Tom Cruise was awesome, and he is also returning. The bad news is the actual fucking title for this thing. Because, look, there's a reason this movie tanked, and that was because it was poorly marketed, and the poor marketing had to do with the title that they initially wanted to call Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat. I mean, yes, we get it. The movie essentially is Live, Die, Repeat, but it's just not a good marketing title. And now they want to call the second one Live, Die, Repeat, and Repeat. What? Just, what? I'm like, really? That's your title you're going with? I mean, I'm sure the movie will be good. I'm sure that everyone involved is good, and it will be great and whatnot. But this fucking title! Are you kidding me? This is terrible. Evan, what are your thoughts on this title?
Live, die, and repeat, and repeat, and repeat, and repeat, and repeat. It's a whole new franchise now. It's going to be called the Repeat franchise. That's all it's going to do is repeat. Just, guys, you're getting paid millions of dollars. People who come with this title is getting paid millions of dollars. To think, okay, what's going to be the best? What's going to be the best title? Oh yeah, repeat. Let's just repeat what we did last time and put repeat. Shut up! Do something good. Literally, you're getting paid millions of dollars. And you come out with this piece of crap. Are you kidding me? God, Movie
studios.
That's the second time I've been loud today. I'm deeply sorry. One was for excitement, and one of them was because I'm ticked off for something that was so good. They always have to screw it up.
To everyone out there, a 16-year-old kid just told you what is wrong with you. So, yeah. Chris?
I'm going to take a few dB off of my preamp here.
Oh boy, here we go.
Here we go. So, it's kind of sad when a dumbass like Chris Day could come with a better title than you dumb motherfuckers have been for this movie, which, granted, yeah, the first one was a lot of fun. It was a kind of original concept, even though we had seen bits and chunks of it beforehand, and Doug Liman's a pretty solid director. But listen up. This is moronic. This is cynical. This is insulting to people's intelligence. You should all be ashamed of yourselves for even considering that this is passable in your oh so prestigious field. Dear God, people wonder why sequels always get a bad rep. Because the studio execs, they're now like, oh, well, we can just give it a shit title and boom, it'll sell money because the first one, was a huge cult hit. That's not how it works.
That's not how Hollywood works.
Oh, no, yeah, it is. Who are we fucking kidding? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I hate this. Sorry about that.
But seriously though, the first one actually tanked at the box office. It got a lot of life.
That's why I said cult hit.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It got life afterward on DVD and Blu-ray. It's like, hey, suddenly everyone realized this movie was as great as it was after it was released in theaters, and then everyone watched it at home. And probably the second one will make money, but this title this actually is the Captain America Civil War versus Avengers Civil War argument all over again. If it had been called Avengers Civil War, the movie would have made more money. Doesn't matter. Nothing matters about anything else in your marketing. If it had been called Avengers Civil War, would have made more marketing simply because the title is more effective. And then here's the same thing. Yeah, probably the second one will make more bank than the first one, but with the title Edge of Tomorrow something, it would have been more profitable than this stupid thing. So
Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah. All you need is kill. There's your better title.
Yeah, that's a better title for sure. But yeah, let's stop talking about live, die, repeat, kill, all you need, and let's talk about aliens, because apparently Ridley Scott announced, the director of Prometheus, Alien Covenant, and the original Alien, that he has plans for 2 more Alien movies after Covenant, simply because he was not able to tell the full story that he wanted between Prometheus and, between the start of Prometheus and the first Alien. Within Prometheus and Alien Covenant, he is like, okay, I need to make 2 more movies. Now, is that a fault of him making Prometheus? Maybe. I really like Prometheus as a standalone sci-fi movie, but I will admit, in terms of alien tie-ins, there are not a whole lot. And Alien Covenant, I've heard there are some more than Prometheus, but not as much as you would want. So yeah, you would need a little bit more after Covenant to tie it all in. In the end, it comes down to if the movies are good or not. I think Prometheus is a great movie. I hope Covenant is as great as Prometheus or thereabout. And if he can make the next 2 movies as great as well, I'm happy with that. However, I don't want him to focus too much on tying it in and then losing quality of the movie. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to skip Evan unless he has some real big thoughts, because I know he hasn't seen any of the Alien movies.
I just, real quick, box office, it depends how the box office does, whether I'll call it a dumb or not smart move. What studio is Alien Covenant under?
20th Century Fox.
Okay, they'll have the money for it nevertheless, but whether or not they should do it based on box office results, it has to make, in my opinion, over 60 million opening weekend to actually discuss having a discuss having a sequel to Alien Covenant, in my opinion.
True. Chris?
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. Unlike Case, I thought Prometheus was Not great, not terrible, just eh. Although, I mean, again, it has some great elements to it, and even though I'm not the biggest fan of Ridley Scott, I want him to stay busy. I want him to keep working, even though I don't know if he'll be alive necessarily to make these other two sequels. I mean, the dude's almost 80 years old. He's getting up there. That's all I'm trying to say. You know, I'm not trying to be cynical, but listen, we lost way too many people last year for me to think otherwise. So,
Jesus Christ.
Last year was rough.
oh my God, was it rough?
Mm.
Oh crap, this year hasn't been much better either. But
Yeah, he's gonna be 80 at the end of this year.
yeah, that's unfortunately my point. Is I want to believe that this will actually happen, but I feel like he will get one more in before he either retires and or kicks the bucket, but I just don't see it where he gets both out.
We'll see. Look, the thing is, he's been on up recently because I didn't see Exodus, luckily, apparently. But as I said, I love Prometheus, and I absolutely love The Martian. The Martian is probably my favorite Ridley Scott film. So I'm like, yeah, he can still do it. He is still very active in making good sci-fi movies. Can't wait to see Covenant. And speaking of which, that is, of course, the next segment. Opening this week, Alien Covenant is finally opening in theaters. I cannot wait to see this movie, even though I probably will have to wait a few weeks because I don't have money right now. So that sucks. But still, I cannot wait for this movie because I rewatched Aliens and Alien 3 yesterday. Aliens still one of the all-time best movies in my opinion. Alien is very good. Alien 3, we do not speak of it. But Prometheus, as I said, I love the movie, and I can't now wait to see how Covenant continues that story after Prometheus and how it will tie into the next movie, which will, of course, eventually tie into Alien. I cannot wait for that. Also, two movies coming out that I'm like, what? I've not heard of any of these movies. Diary of a Wimpy Kid 4. I've not seen 1 through 3. I don't know if there are 1 through 3. I honestly don't care because I'm not going to see this movie. And a movie called Everything, Everything. I'm like, yeah, I'm not seeing anything in the theater this weekend, sadly, because I don't have any money. And if I would only see Alien Covenant, of course. I wonder, Evan, are you going to see anything this week?
Everything will not get anything in the box office.
Funny.
Sorry. A Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I might check it out because I'm not going to check out Alien Covenant just because I don't like horror movies. I'm sorry. Something about horror movies just freak me out and I can't do it.
The Alien franchise is not a horror franchise.
I heard this movie is scary from multiple people. So, we'll see. But I might check out Diary of a Wimpy Kid. It might be a third Guardians of the Galaxy rewatch. Heck, I know it's not my favorite MCU movie, but it's Guardians of the frickin' Galaxy. Except I don't mean frickin'. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, Evan. If you are wondering how horror-like this franchise is, just watch Prometheus and Alien. If that is too scary for you, yeah, probably Covenant is not good for you. But honestly, both Alien and Prometheus, they're not that scary. They're more just sci-fi movies with a little bit more action, even though the first Alien is probably the most horror-like. But just watch it and see if you like that. Chris, what are you watching this week?
Well, obviously I'm seeing Alien Covenant. I have not bothered watching any of the other Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies, though I was aware of them. And everything just looks like bland teenage romance movie, so I'm not gonna bother. But I'm sorry, dude. I just don't. I still think Guardians still might hold on to number one for one more weekend.
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay, let's just.
No. But seriously, do the math. Guardians will drop. The smallest drop it'll do is 50%. Then it will be at 30 million. Alien Covenant is going to open up at like 60 or 70 million. There's no way
Really?
that Guardian.
I'm only gonna say
There is no way that Covenant will open smaller than Guardians in a third week. There's no way.
Hold up. I'm about to do
okay.
some
We'll see. Okay, so
research.
right now I'm looking at the box office results from back in June 8th, 2012, when Prometheus opened against Madagascar 3. Which, granted, hold on. We had not had an alien movie in 15 years at that point.
Yeah, and also Prometheus was not marketed as an alien movie. This is totally marketed as an alien movie.
But it's also a sequel to Prometheus, and the internet was so split over it. I'm just saying there is a possibility that because of the
There is
divisiveness,
no possibility. There is no doubt in my mind. Just no doubt.
am
Sorry.
I saying it's outright not going to open up to number one? No, it's more likely to open to number one, but over $50 million when Prometheus only opened at 51.
Yeah. Marketing campaign for Covenant has been amazing, though.
I don't know.
All right,
We'll
we're not getting into this argument. We'll just wrap up the show right now. We're gonna plug everyone. Chris, where can people find you online?
Well, you can find me getting kicked off of Between the Zones on my band Last Jedi Redemption at LSAR Band MN, and you can find us on Take 3 at Fan Schmodown.
Indeed, and Evan.
You can find me as a writer on schmozone.com. Find me here on Take 3 on practically everything. And you can find me at EDEGRAFF11 on Twitter. And also, real quick, make sure you guys watch that Inception commentary. It was me, Henry, and Manning, and it was really fun. Actually, I enjoy Inception. Even if you don't understand it, it's still a really fun action movie. If you just want to relax, yeah, I enjoyed it. Inception is really cool.
That's a can of worms I don't want to open up either.
Yeah, I wanted to join you guys last night, but it was like 2 a.m. By the time you were starting, so that would mean that it would be like 4:30/5 a.m. by the time you would finish that movie, and by that time I would be very much asleep. So that was really the only reason I was not joining. Also, like, I'm not the biggest fan of the movie, but I would have wanted to see it with you guys, see your take on it, and also give my opinion. But that didn't happen. Yeah, my opinion on Inception. You can find me at Dutch Movie Guy on Twitter and the Dutch Movie Guy on YouTube, even though I'm not active on either one right now because of personal reasons. But otherwise, you can just find me on a lot of Take 3 stuff. So just check out the channel that you're on right now. This was a show. We'll see you next week, and take care.